everyone, and welcome to First and Cedar Knitting. It has been a minute since I've done a video, and I feel like a lot of people recently have been watching some knitting podcasts, and they all kind of started that same way. The holidays get crazy and people get busy. We had an especially busy season. If you're new here, welcome. This is a knitting podcast, which means that it's just a video where I talk about what I'm currently knitting on and what I plan to be knitting in the future. So this is my 2024 a year in review kind of video. Everyone kind of does it. I didn't want to talk about all of the things that I've made in 2024 because I had almost 30 projects that I completed during that time. So I just kind of picked my absolute favorites from 3 different categories, and we're just gonna kind of go through that. So we're gonna start with children's sweaters, then we're gonna go to summer knits, and then we're gonna end it with my favorite garments, my favorite adult sweaters that I knit in 2024. So darn, I'm looking at my list, and one of the sweaters I was going to talk about I don't actually have anymore because I gifted it. Oh well, I'll have to maybe just talk about it a little bit and include a picture or two. We'll just kind of do an honorable mention. Anyway, so let's get into it. At the very end of the video, I'll kind of give like a little life update as to what's been going on over here. Okay, so like I said, we're going to do 3 categories. We're going to start with children's knits, and we're going to start with my favorite knit of 2024, and the reason why is because this is my very own pattern. It has seen some wear. I need to probably do a good delinting of this one. It is a non-superwash merino, so it's very soft. So this is the dandelion sweater, and this is my very own pattern that I wrote up after knitting it and had it tech edited and had it test knit, and it is available for everyone to knit, which is just an absolutely crazy thing to kind of think of, but I love it. It's a top down DK weight sweater for children. It is knit in the round. It's got a circular yoke, and it only has 6 rows of color work. So it's a great sweater if you're starting with color work. And honestly, where you're doing the color work is a point where you're on at least 30-inch circulars, and it makes it very easy to make sure that you're stretching out your floats, and your floats are only 7 stitches apart. It's a very easy a little motif there, and then you switch to a secondary color and knit the rest of the way. You get your sleeves and your body. Just a very simple, very beautiful sweater that I knit for my daughter and then wrote up. So this is the dandelion sweater, and I can very safely say that this is my top sweater from 2024, simply because it was my pattern, my one pattern that I released in 2024. Honestly, I'm looking at it on me and I feel like I should make an adult version, which one of my testers actually asked about. But yeah, so by the way, all the information for these patterns is going to be in the description below. This one is available on Ravelry and my Etsy, so I'll include those links as well. The rest of them I'll include the pattern and the yarn that I used. This is a non-superwash, just DK weight solid Japanese yarn that I got while we were living in Japan, just de-pilling as I go along. So yeah, there's my first one. And then also in the children's category of top sweaters are these fox sweaters that I knit for my children. I actually knit 2 of these. This is my daughter's, and I knit one for my son as well in just a different blue. And I modified an adult sweater. The adult sweater is called Into the Wild. And To modify it to fit a child, what I did was I did the smallest size that came available, and I went down 1 or 2 needle sizes just so that it would come out a bit smaller than what the pattern called for, and that fit my 8-year-old. Yeah, she was 8 this whole last year. She's about to turn 9. It fit her. I just then did a straight sleeve, it looks like. Did a little bit of decreasing, did the body to the length that fit her. And for this one, I did thumb holes, so I made the sleeves extra long and added some thumb holes here. This and this are made out of the same yarn, at least the blue one is. The orange is just a fingering held double. The black is also a non-superwash, and the cream is a non-superwash. Decay weight. So yeah, my top 2, and then the sweater that I don't actually have was the 3rd one in this category, and it's called the North Sweater by Sandnes Garn. I'm gonna see if I have a picture I can put here. And this one is a bottom up colorwork sweater, and the main modification that I did to this one is that I knit it top down because I prefer that knitting method, and the only reason I prefer it is because it's one that I've done previously. I've not knit bottom up other than like an Andrea Mowry, the one with the stuff here, the Weekender, one of her OG ones. Other than that sweater, I've not really knit a bottom up, and so I was nervous about doing that. It seemed simple enough to just do it top down and work the pattern kind of in reverse as far as numbers and casting on and casting off and all of that. So yeah, I made it for my niece, which is why I don't have it anymore. I made the sleeves a little bit too long, but she'll just have to fold them up. It'll work great. And it was beautiful. This like smoky blue color for the main color, purple, green, and then some off-white for that one. And that one was a lot of fun to knit. I finished that one throughout the holiday season. And so yeah, sorry I don't have the actual garment, but picture of it right there. And that was my first category of my top 2024 knits. Okay, my next category of knits were summer knits. I actually did quite a few summer tops. This year I found a brand of yarn in the Japanese yarn shops that I really liked. It's a mix of wool, just a tiny bit of wool, cotton, and linen, and it makes for a really nice fabric. So I made like 2 or 3 tops out of that yarn, and I really like them. So I will talk about those. And then I also found a like sport weight yarn that is half cotton and half wool, and the percentages kind of, I have not worked with the Knitting for Olive cotton merino, but the percentages of the one that I used seem very similar. So I need to buy some of that at some point once I work through my stash and then see what it's like. But here is the first one, and this is that 50-50, almost 50-50 cotton merino mix. And this is my top that I called the Hudley top because my son was watching Curious George as I knit this one, and it's brown like the dog on Curious George, Hudley. And this is a self-drafted raglan short sleeve, slightly cropped summer top, and I wore this one quite a bit until it got too hot and too humid. And I really need to be wearing it now in the winter, layering it under some of my other things. But yeah, just a basic scoop neck, nice and wide. You can tell my sweater and my t-shirt come here. This one has a much bigger neckline. And I just would wear like a sports bra underneath, something that I didn't mind if my little straps were showing a little bit or not. And then it was not super tight, but it was a little bit more snug. It didn't have as much ease on it. It is a non-superwash on the wool that's in it. And it being a summer garment, I did sweat in it and I felted the underarms, but that's okay. It happens. Because this is one of the tops that I would wear with nothing but a bra underneath because it's too hot. Most of my sweaters, or pretty much all of my sweaters, I'd wear a t-shirt, something to layer that has sleeves between my armpit and the sweater. So the Hudley top, absolutely love this one for summer. We'll probably be making another one of these because I did purchase some more of this yarn before we left Japan in October. And then my absolute favorite summer top is this little white tee. And once again, it's a raglan construction, and it has this faux button band that I did down the front because I didn't want to knit it flat. And honestly, I didn't want it coming open at all as I wore it. This neckline is even bigger and wider around the edge. It was boxier and very loose. The arms go down a little bit deeper so they weren't quite as high up. I didn't felt this one even though I wore it like crazy. And this one is got some linen in it, and it's a lighter weight, so it's smaller stitches. I don't know what the gauge is. I'll measure it and put it in the things. But my favorite detail has to be the faux button band, and then the little pearlescent buttons that I put. I wore this with jean shorts. I wore it with jeans once it got a little bit cooler. I just put a nice sports bra underneath it so that the, you know, as I'm doing stuff, bending over or whatever, since it was looser, a little bit bigger on me. I did a fun little split hem to allow a little bit more breeziness, a little bit longer here, and I wear this one so much. If you go to my past videos, you will see it. And I don't know, I really like the detail. I'm thinking I want to make another one of this with Knitting for Olive Pure Silk for this next summer. I just need to kind of maybe pick a color that'll be versatile, but not very dark because it's going to be a summer top. And instead of doing just the purl bumps, maybe doing a slip stitch along each side to kind of define the button band a little bit more. Just a simple little raglan, tiny little collar thing, neckband, and then a little bit longer rib on the bottom. Absolutely love this one. Wore it all the time. Super excited to still have it and wear it this next summer as things warm up. All right, it's gonna be a quick video. Next up, we're gonna talk about my favorite sweaters that I made in 2024. Okay, so my favorite sweaters. We're gonna start with the oldest, hold on, just this here. We're gonna start with the one that I made that was the oldest, and then we'll move towards the newer ones. So I completed this one early on in 2024 because I had made this one at the very end of 2023 and absolutely loved it. So I had to make a second one in a different color palette. And this is the Sheep Camp Sweater by Jennifer Berg, or Native Knitter. And this one has a pretty wide neckline, which I'm realizing is kind of a trend here. It's not until like recently that I've started bringing in my necks a little bit more just to make sure they cover the t-shirts that I wear under them and to actually keep me a little bit warmer. But these are good transitional weather ones. It's a top-down color work, and I added the detail of the color work at the bottom simply because I think I didn't quite have enough blue, and this allowed me to use up the rest of this one. It's just this section here worked in reverse, and then where it gets to like here, I just continued on with the ribbing. I wish I would have done it at the sleeves too. I think it would have looked really nice, but I still really, really love this sweater. The dark blue is Cascade Heritage, which is a sock. I held that double. And I do believe this variegated blue was a MadTosh singles. single ply sock or fingering that I held double as well. And I think I over dyed this one because it's not a color I remember purchasing, but I do remember this blue being one of the dyes, one of the RIT dyes that I have. So yeah, definitely a top sweater for 2024. I have some tags. I need to put one on the back of this one so I can identify it. And then it kind of goes all year before I get around to making any more sweaters. And the next one that was an absolute favorite and I've worn a ton, that's the back, this is the Stick Season Sweaters by Rebecca Clow. Again, the neckband on this one's really, really big because I didn't count my stitches and I just kind of picked up what felt right. And so I do believe I ended up with way too many, but I'm not going to go back and do it again. So yeah, this is Stick Seasons. It's a drop shoulder and it has this rib detail on the back of the shoulder. It was my first time working this construction and I was a little bit nervous, but I really like it. I like how it came out and I like how it fits. It's a really different fit. A lot of my sweaters that I have are circular yoke, so I really like wearing this one with the drop shoulder. It's a DK weight and I just did not do the texture along the top, so it's just a solid. And the reason why was because I was it's the first time I did this kind of construction, so I was trying to focus on that and not so much worrying about whether or not I was getting the patterning at the front, and it really became a very relaxing knit for me that way. And I really like it. I've been wearing it a lot with like my darker black jeans because it is this maroon color. The body is a really good length. I actually wish I had maybe 1 more inch on it. And then I'd probably be complaining that it's a little bit too long, but it really works well with my high-waisted jeans. I've worn it a lot, like there's already some wear on the fabric as far as pilling goes. It needs a good delinting. This one is a superwash commercial yarn, and I did pop it in the washer and dryer, and it came out really well for having done that, and it didn't really affect the yarn at all. Maybe there is some like very tiny pilling that happened because I did put it in the dryer, but it didn't felt or anything like that, so that was a relief. It kind of got washed by accident, but that's okay. Yeah, so the Stick Season without the patterning was another sweater. And last but definitely not least was my last completed adult sweater of the season of 2024, and it's the Altheta sweater by Jennifer Steinglass. I picked up a couple of patterns. I was looking at the yarn that I had, and I was just looking at patterns that would fit the yarn and the yarn quantities that I had, and this was one of them where you don't need a ton of that cream color, and most of the sweater is going to be that primary color. This is the first time, I'm going to show you the back here in a minute, first time that I did short rows after the color work. So the short rows are here on the back, and that's why it's still like the neckband comes up, but it goes straight from the neckband into the color work, which I actually think was very clever. The neckline on this is one of the tighter ones that I've made this year. It does kind of open up real fast. So I maybe could have gotten away with doing a size smaller, but I'd rather it be too big than too small. I think I made the sleeves a little bit too long, which has been working out really well for me because I'm finding that I like to have that extra length on my sleeves. I really notice it when I'm driving. I'll end up with several of my sweaters not having enough length to fit the curve of the elbow. So I've been trying to go a little bit longer. And I also made the body of this one a little bit longer than let's say this body. Let's try neck, shoulder. So it's got some extra length to it as opposed to the Stick Seasons one. So it's a good, that much longer. And I really enjoyed wearing this one. It's very warm, very cozy. I actually fell asleep, went to bed in this one night when it was really chilly. So yeah, and I enjoyed the color work. It has some longer floats to it, which is okay. I'm getting better at, oh, there's the inside. I am getting a little bit better at catching my bigger floats, but like my finger does fit in there. But at the body, I don't think it should be an issue to deal with. So yeah, we did some new techniques and I have been in a color work kick since then. And yeah, better too big than too small. So those were my top knits from 2024. When it comes down to it, I made 9 sweaters total, so picking 3 out of the 9 was a little bit hard. I also made 7 tops, so those are summer tops that aren't full sweaters. I made 9 kid sweaters as well, so reducing that also down to 3 was fun. And then I made 2 blankets throughout the year, and one of them is misplaced, and I'm really nervous. It's my black summer blanket that I made, and I'm really nervous that it got lost getting shipped from Japan to here. But it might just be in a box somewhere still, though we're running out of boxes and it hasn't come out. So yeah, I'm sure I'm missing a little on my list, but I made almost 30 projects this year, which is a lot of knitting. But I was looking through the list and I'm like, we have worn all of these. I've worn all of the sweaters. The kids have worn the sweaters that I made for them, which is really exciting. So yeah, it was a really good year of knitting and making, a big year of learning. So one of the things that I really learned is that I like DK weight. I like wearing DK weight sweaters. Fingering weight seems a little bit light for me, and so I'm really gonna maybe lean into wearing the DK weight sweaters. I also learned that I like a little bit narrower neck hole on my winter garments, and for summer garments it's fine to have it bigger along the neckline, but I'm really working on bringing kind of them in or making longer ribbing here to kind of bring it in and actually warm up this section of my neck, keep me warm. Another thing that I really learned and kind of was reassured here at the end of this knitting of 2023 is sleeve length. I had been making my sleeves just a little bit too short. I think this one, it's meant to be more of like a bracelet. So really paying attention in the pattern pictures where the sleeve lands on the original one to make sure that I'm either adding length before I start any of the decreases that are told or adding an extra long cuff. And that I did also do a lot of self-drafted patterns, which is good. You know, it's great to like come up with your own stuff. But I found that I'm really enjoying knitting other people's patterns and having them come out. It just goes to show that I still have a lot to learn as far as knitting goes. So yeah, lots of stuff learned, but overall a really good knitting year, and I'm excited about this next year. I'm going to share with you real quick the project that I've been working on 2024, and it's a sweater that I want to try and finish by Valentine's Day, subtly Valentine. You see the hearts? There's hearts there, there's hearts there. This is the Kindred's heart, and the thing that's cool about this one and that caught my attention is that you knit it from, you cast on here and you knit up so that the V's of the stitches for the hearts are facing the right direction, which just seems very clever. And then yeah, you just go up, 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 and then you cast off, pick up stitches for your neckband, and then you re-pick up these stitches and start knitting. You do your shirt rows after the color work, because again, front, back, you can't tell. Actually, that's the back. And then you do your short rows to lift the back after the color work section has been done. But I have another project here that has a heart in it, knit from the top down. So I kind of wanted to show you that, yeah, the direction of your stitches kind of does make a difference. So that's a heart right there. And as you can see, there's a heart. There's a heart there, and it looks much better. Like, these little hearts are just better. Like it, and I was just like, oh, genius. Very smart. So there you go. But yeah, this is my Valentine's 2024. I made it in 2 colors. The pattern is originally 4. You can do it in 3. I tried a couple more colors and it just seemed too muddled. And so in the end, I went with just 2 colors. And I'm on the body, super excited to continue on with that one. And then if you made it this far, I'm going to go into a little life update. Man, has been a lot. So stay tuned. So if you don't care about this kind of stuff, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like and subscribe. Comment what your favorite make from 2024 has been, or what your total count of what you made this year was. Were you surprised by that? Was it more? I thought I'd made more. Honestly, 30-ish projects is really, really good, but I'm like, I knit a lot, and so I thought I'd have more to show for it. I think I have a lot of whips that didn't get done in 2024 that I need to work on, which would have brought my count up quite a bit more. But yeah, life updates. So if you've been following along, in October we moved back to the States from Japan, and we moved back to Denver, and we're trying to settle in, you know, live our lives, do our thing. And a long story short, we ended up moving right after Thanksgiving, so early December. We moved from Denver to Northwest Arkansas, which is where we are now. And it was unexpected and unplanned, but definitely the right decision for us and for our family and what's happening right now. So yeah, we are gonna try and sell our house that we had in Denver, and we are renting here during the interim because we wanted to kind of slow things down a little bit, because it was just like, boom, come back from Japan, boom, move again. And then it was just gonna be like, boom, sell the house, boom, buy a house. And it was just like too much. So we decided to slow down. We're renting, we're in the area we want to be, so it's all gonna be fine. But that's the reason why there's been no videos. We've also been sick. I think we got the norovirus, whatever we got, a stomach bug. I also then got a head cold afterwards. Even up to yesterday, my daughter came home because she was vomiting from school. So we've been around the mill with being sick. And then my in-laws were sick, and my mother-in-law was in the hospital, so I went and helped with that, went and visited her, checked in on them, and she's doing much better, and things are good. But it was good that we were here in the area to be able to kind of help out with that. So it's been a lot, but we're settled. I've been working really hard to get my yarn organized, and today was the day that I kind of finally did that. I'm gonna show you guys real quick. Okay, we're gonna, pardon my mess, but there it is. I have worsted weight, DK weight sweater quantities, DK weight random skeins, fingering scraps, fingering 50 grams or more, fingering full skeins, and then it goes to like cotton yarns, cotton linen blends, and then it goes to like bamboo yarn, and then at the very bottom I got some acrylic. Don't tell anybody, don't tell the super strict people, but I do knit with acrylic when it comes to baby stuff because of how easy it is to wash. And so yeah, I was just thinking about this. I have a baby blanket pattern that I knit up, actually I crocheted, and I need to write up the pattern and get it test knit and get it ready and get it out to everyone. So I'll be talking about that maybe on my next episode as I start to work on it, because why talk about it a ton before it's ready. But yeah, I have a lot of yarn. It makes me very happy to have it all out and available, and I can see it, and it should hopefully help me keep from buying new yarn because I have yarn. So, and I think my time's up because here comes my babies. Hi, baby.
I love you.
I love you too.
I need some chai.
You want some of my drink?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, can you say bye, everybody?
Bye, everybody.